if, like me, you love lamb dishes, then this is the perfect recipe for you. It's my Hyderabadi slow-cooked lamb shanks, and they are delicious. The recipe is in my new cookbook, so it's all about how you cook gorgeous Indian food in a slow cooker. These shanks work really, really well in a slow cooker because it gives it time to cook really low and slow, get lots of spices penetrating into that meat, and you want the meat to cook right down until it literally just sort of melts away from the bone. So the way to start is get your slow cooker on sear if you've got that function. If you haven't, then you can do this on a stovetop, but it's a really good idea to just brown your lamb shanks. But before you do that, just make sure they do fit in your slow cooker. Once they're browned, just take them out and pop them into a dish so that you can start your spices roasting, and we can start to cook our onions. As the oil is hot, we're going to add our first layer of spices, and that's always your whole spices. So I've got some cassia bark going in. I've got some cardamom, and I've got some cloves. So they are just going to go into the pan. There's already the oil in the pan from us browning our meat, so we don't need to add any more. Just give those a little stir. And as I always say, as soon as you can smell them, as soon as those aromatics come through, then you can add in your next ingredient. So in this case, we are adding in our onions. And what I've done is I've just very finely just sliced through 4 onions here. So pop those straight in. You can just put your onions in and put your other ingredients in, and then put your meat back in and let it cook for the time required. I'd say about 6 or 7 minutes just to get them going and get them turning that lovely dark brown colour. Whilst the onions are browning, you can carry on with your other prep. So I've got my pestle and mortar here, and just to make it easy, I'm going to put some ginger and some garlic, and I've also got a green chilli that I've chopped in here, and I'm just going to bash it all together. Saves so much time. Now I've used 3 green chilies in this because I think with this kind of dish that's really meaty, you need a little bit of heat, but obviously cook to your own taste, cook to your own palate. So if you don't like it that hot, just reduce the number of chilies you're adding. Okay, so my ginger, garlic and chilies are ready. I'm also just going to chop up 4 tomatoes. You don't have to be precise about it, but try and do them fairly small so they break up in the sauce really easily. The other ingredients that I've already got prepped here, I've got a tablespoon of coriander seeds that I've just put in a pestle and mortar and just given them a bash. You can use pre-ground if that's what you've got in your cupboard. And I've also got a teaspoon of cumin seeds, again, that I've just bashed in my pestle and mortar. I've got some sea salt, and I've got my chili powder, and I've got some turmeric in here as well, and I'm going to be adding that at the right time. I'm going to go now with these ingredients. So I've got my ginger, garlic and chilies. Try and get any juice that's in the bottom of your pestle and mortar because that's where the flavour is. So stir that through. And then we go in with our spices. So the ground coriander and cumin, some chili powder, some turmeric, and a good sprinkling of salt. So stir that all through, and now you really start to get those lovely earthy aromatics coming in. I'm going to add my chopped tomatoes, stir all of that through, and that's going to cool the pan down a little bit, but it's just the start of that masala starting to cook now. So as the tomatoes go in and you stir them through and they just start to cook, we're going to put those beautiful browned lamb shanks back in. It's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle, you have to get them in the right way. Try to just coat those shanks with that masala. Now you'll get a lot of moisture coming from the shanks themselves, but in this dish I'm going to add just a cup of water because they need a little bit extra just to help them slowly cook through. Pop the lid on. It's So leave the shanks to cook for the designated time. I'm leaving mine for 8 hours on the low setting. I'm going to come back to that in about 8 hours time, and I'll show you what they look like. So amazingly tender. When your house starts to smell with all of these lovely aromas, you know that it's pretty much ready, which is why this slow cooker is such an amazing little gadget. So I just want to show you how tender this meat actually is. But just look at that, it literally is just falling apart. It's just delicious, right? Because of the cut of this meat, it can be quite fatty, it can be quite oily. So when you're left with your sauce that's still in your slow cooker, if you feel that it's too greasy, and you'll be able to see it, you just take a ladle and literally just skim away any excess fat that might be in there, because you don't want it to be too oily. So all you need to do is just dip the edge of your ladle in and just skim that away, and then you can just throw that in the bin. The next step is to just remove those chunky pieces of cassia bark that you've got in the sauce. Add your garam masala. You want quite a substantial amount in here, so half a tablespoon. Using an immersion blender, we're just going to blitz the sauce so it's nice and smooth, and it also helps it thicken a little bit too. So once it's blitzed through, the sauce changes colour and it gets a little bit thicker, but just give that a mix, and I think it's really important just to have a little taste, because this is the point that you'd adjust any seasoning. That's really good. All you need to do is take this lovely, luscious, yummy sauce and just pour it over the top of your shanks. Now you know that's going to be tender, it's going to be delicious, and it's just going to be full of amazing, amazing flavours and aromatics. I like to finish with a good sprinkling of coriander and a good pinch of very thinly julienned ginger, because it gives almost like a tangy zestiness to finish that dish. And there you go. There's my Hyderabadi lamb shanks, slow cooked in the slow cooker for 8 hours. Beautiful, succulent, and really, really delicious. If you've enjoyed this recipe, click to see more and check out the book for yourself. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel.